Starting lineup: Gnar, Warwick, Azir, Twitch, Nunu, up against Olaf, Volibear, Lux, Fortune, Teemo. Rating of the picks for a casual game: Gnar as a top, 9. Warwick in the jungle, 8. Azir as a mid, 0. Twitch in shooter, 7. Nunu in support, 6. Volibear in the jungle, 8. Lux as a mid, 8. Fortune in shooter, 7. Teemo in support, 0. We're gonna get this Lux player getting a freebie. We're gonna have this Teemo player demonstrating what a support should precisely not be. The consistent effort from a reliable Gnar player, and the bullying shenanigans on this Warwick. Let's get to it. Do you know what percentage of Warwick players, especially in the casuals, fails to make any objective contribution, such as turrets? Do you know how many? The truth is, in and by itself, getting down to boring practical stuff, even if there was no risk, it is barely worth the hassle because of the distance you have to run. You can use all of that time that you end up moving around the map to get ready for the grubs, which almost no single Yi player or Warwick player is ready for. And what I'm speaking of now is without the additional risks. Every moment that you spend running around, you're getting more and more impoverished. That goes for laners, it goes for junglers too. You have the double danger here. Gnar, gotta watch out for that. German boys mechanically, gotta watch out for that as well. Learning how to play Gnar is one of the smartest things you could possibly do in League. If you could ever master it, he's of course one of the greatest professional champions, and his great life pool and defensive stats give you a chance, even if you know very little about the game. He's one of those rare pro picks that actually works on the lowest level as well. The greatness of Gnar is twofold. One, just like Renekton, it is every spell à la volonté. He has no mana pool. He can go as many times as the ability cooldown allows you to. And man, do you feel that on a champion like Olaf. If Gnar is capable of using his boomerang maybe 4 times, I could use my axe throw once, purely because of mana reasons. And 2, that playful innocence of Gnar works like a kind of trick you Shaco effect. You essentially clown your enemy, deceiving him, and then suddenly transform into this dominating beast out of nowhere. Gnar is a champion made to dominate League of Legends. Whether it is poke, survivability, ease of use, or deception and mind games, Gnar has it all. What stands out in this play is this Fortune player having zero awareness of the stealth mechanic of Twitch. The pick ratings are at work here and play out, as Teemo is quite possibly in the top 3 worst supports you can imagine. For simple-minded people, it is the exact opposite of what a support has to be. We don't see Teemo as a support in the pros either. A good way to arrive at a good support is to look at Teemo and to take everything that is the exact opposite. We filter out the moments where this Volibear was helping out the obviously decrepit bot lane, which as a highly experienced player and as a jungler is really your main objective in this game, is to fill in the shortages and the weaknesses. What you largely see here is that both Teemo as well as Volibear have very little chase down skills and chase down maneuvers, in complete contrast to, for example, Nocturne or Vi. This is typically a sought out quality for more serious players and a game changer. The story of Volibear is extremely similar to that of Warwick. It is a testament to very poor itemization and attempts to understand items that these two champions have been far more successful than originally anticipated. And it is by itself a sad commentary on the brain activity of the average League player. After this testing period, the outcome is essentially that the best champions are those you can't screw up. This German seemingly referring to pickles in the name is atypically going to fight very straightforward here, not using too many nasty tricks and just trying to tank through it strategically. The stink bomb that Twitch throws is also going to give him a CC advantage. This alongside the stealth makes him dominate the bot lane, neither which Team Red is in any way ready for. We're going to get this Lux a stroke of the ego and a freebie, a bitter low energy Lux player, but you don't need anything of anything when you're facing down Azir. The adversaries of Olaf and Volibear in this game are going to go for a good old 0 for 4 on the double, as the scoreboard will point out. No matter what the luck of this Azir player is, he can't get anywhere because it's Azir. In just a magnificent lack of competence, this Fortune player is going to start navigating up and down the river, which makes entirely no sense, not being able to handle their bot lane in the slightest, now also losing out on a ton of XP by continuously displacing themselves and moving around instead of farming up resources. Before too long, this Fortune player will be behind significantly in terms of stats on this Twitch and just about everybody else. We make an attempt to get an understanding of the synergy between these picks. We look at Team Blue, we see Gnar, Warwick, Azir, Twitch, Nunu. We would have to say a B. There's a bit of potential here in that Twitch is really the type of shooter who could make use of this dream front line in Warwick and Gnar to the max. That stealth mechanic especially allows you to position yourself perfectly to play a constant in and out game with these superior tanks. If those three players are on their A game, you can do some real damage here and Nunu could save himself. Azir is a lost cause if you're not Faker. We take a look at Team Red, we see Olaf, Volibear, Lux, Fortune, Teemo. We would have to say a high C. We haven't been seeing a lot of productivity from Lux in terms of pushing lanes by herself, and I'm starting to come around to assassin types a little more. So I'm not a 10 out of 10 on Lux. Fortune is difficult to play. Teemo in support is clown mode. Volibear is too simplistic to work at all times, even on the lowest possible level. This lineup is nothing to brag about. If you could legitimately win it on Volibear, then you're not really winning at League. You're in most cases just out-toughing a mindless opponent. Taking a look then at these individual players. trying to get an understanding of their behavior, how they interacted with others, what their contribution was. We regard this Gurkengenießer, German boy, going 0 and 4, going plated steel caps and black cleaver. That is 2 swings, a hit and a miss. You won't find anybody more prone to being a cooldown Andy than a champ like Gnar, who can just pop the boomerang endlessly to his heart's content, and that makes a magnificent cooldown item like Black Cleaver a perfect fit. Gnar is so difficult to beat down that you could seriously consider waiting with heavy armor, which makes this an acceptable build. You had a positive mindset throughout the game, you weren't bitter, you didn't cause problems for your team, you stayed active the entire time. I would say a B. We take a look at this Warwick player, going 0 and 4, going Kraken and plated steel caps. That is 2 swings and 2 misses. You seem to refer to a character from the Smurfs using dirty language. Those cultural footprints seem to suggest that you are French. You seem to indicate that you're from 1981. In my mind, under those circumstances and conditions, you should really know better than to throw everything at pure jungle bullying, having 0 to offer in terms of tanking for your team, going after the objectives, or protecting others. You tried to push this Volibear player around and you failed at it. We'll say a low B. We're going to have this cool Burgers individual going with a Zier, going 1 and 6. More on these item choices later. I would say a C. You were facing a pretty trashy opponent skill-wise. You handicapped this entire team because you were trying to live out a personal fantasy. This is not the place for it. People know my take on that. Effectively committing sabotage. We look at this Twitch player, going 7 and 1, going Renons and the Collector, a very risky choice. This worked out here primarily because you were facing clowns. You took over this bot lane. You did more than what you had to. I would say an A. This person also seemed naturally interested in getting better at Twitch based on your mastery. Looks like an exciting person to have as an ADC. Definitely got screwed by your team here. Put in an unwinnable situation. We have this new player in support seemingly making a satanic reference. Going 2 and 3. I would say a B. The pick is somewhat clownish, the items are somewhat clownish, but mostly accidentally this could actually somewhat work, because as I say so frequently, and you clearly demonstrate that I'm right, the most important thing for an ADC to have as a partner is a thick and sturdy wall that they can hide behind. Somebody who can absorb a ton of damage. And Nunu can absolutely do that. Definitely incomparably better than Teemo. We're going to have this League enthusiast Spanish girl going 7 and 0, going with plated steel caps and Navori flicker blade. More on these item choices later. I would say a very low A. We'll be grown-ups about it and admit that you had so much experience that you inadvertently made a massive contribution to this team and you made the enemy team lose all hope. At the same time though, in my view, you made lots of technical mistakes, especially for a person with this level of experience. The greatest mistake you made here was that you largely abandoned the bot lane, which just completely blows my mind that you would risk losing this game over getting some extra gold in the jungle instead. This person is definitely a very promising story for most. If you're an aspiring League player and you want to get titles or you want to get better or you want to get rank, This individual is showcasing that you can do so with a minimal amount of knowledge. We take a look at this Lux player, going 5-1. If we're gonna be honest, that is purely Azir being Azir. Going with Ludens, nothing much to say here. When you're going up against Azir, being played by a normal person, it is effectively like fighting a Magikarp. You are just poking holes at a sitting duck. AB. We look at this Crooksy 8 Fortune player, going 0-6. Seemingly a young biological woman, going Bloodthirster, Boots of Swiftness, an amazing survival strategy. I would say a high C. I find it kind of unlikely that this is your first time seeing that this doesn't work. And we find a considerable number of players in the bot lane like this, who just keep running the same system, even though they never get a good outcome. I don't really understand what prompts that. I suppose that the mindset one would need to enter that kind of reality would have to prefer style and conformism over results. But yeah, this kind of feeding is dangerous. You have to wake up and realize that you're compromising other people. We get this Bamboo Teemo player going 1-3, going Leandry, going all out fanatically offensive, which in no way befits a support. This is clearly a C. It's a troll pick. As an ADC, you lose every bit of motivation playing alongside a guy like this. You also have to keep in mind that even in the best possible scenario, this would still be sabotage, because even if Fortune and Teemo would both be great players, Teemo would still be kill-stealing from Fortune in the bot lane, preventing her to grow and to collect better items, and this would mar her growth curve, preventing her from capitalizing on her auto attacks and becoming a hyper carry in the fullest sense of the word. It is not good for a support to constantly gobble up every kill that the marksman could make, just purely from a financing and a financial backbone perspective. This is also why Mel in support is so atrocious. But of course, the only thing that motivates people is the differentiation in damage output type, which would make it AD versus AP, and so people think it's fine. They've been trained to believe that it's fine. Seeing Shaco in support, seeing Mel in support. All in all, we'd have to say a 4-0 gain, with a 4.0 KDA, going all in on Thornmail here. A lot of this game was about mana management. I definitely think this could be a journey on Olaf. It could help shape the identity of the channel, and it most likely will. But there's some struggles here in terms of resources. You have to be very picky about when to use your spells. There's no theatrics, a lot of mutual respect in a face-off between two great champions, in Gnar and Olaf, a lot of flexibility in that Axtro, a bright future ahead. Taking a look at the scoreboard here, we're going to have this Fortune going with Bloodthirster and Boots of Swiftness. The purpose in Boots of Swiftness is so that she can get away just in time and escape before she dies. The purpose in Bloodthirster is to survive cleverly off of lifesteal. You can judge for yourself. It's called an M1 Abrams. The Americans are unwilling to sell it to anyone outside of Israel for fear that they might misuse it. We're going to have this cool burgers going with Nashor's in attack speed, which makes absolutely 0 sense, but it is attack speed. And if you wonder why there are few people who have this video style, well, let me tell you, it is a struggle with this kind of mass brainwashing nonsense to keep this up, since God has become attack speed. And every single thing refer to attack speed, and you can tell these people with achievements like this Volleybear player going all the way up to serious competitive levels, still having learned absolutely nothing outside of sheer attack speed. Which indeed explains why people don't want to do commentary on it, because it's always the same thing. Because you people are one big, unwilling, undesired church of blind followers of attack speed. Moving on.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn."
Urge to kill rising.
Minions have spawned.
To plunder.
First blood.
This is thirsty. Faster to battle! To action! The might of Lockfar approaches.
Has slain an enemy.
Urge to kill rising. I'm going.
An ally has been slain.
To action! The might of Lockfar approaches.
executed.
To plunder. I'm going.
An ally has been slain.
To action! Urge to kill rising.
An enemy has been slain.
The
Enemy
might of
killing
Lockfar
spree.
approaches. To plunder.
Enemy rampage.
Some fun! I'm going.
An enemy is unstoppable.
Obliteration! Urge to kill rising.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
To plunder.
Killing spree. An enemy has been slain.
The might of Lockfar approaches.
An ally has been slain.
I'm going.
Killing spree.
rising. The might of Lockfar approaches. To plunder. I'm going. To action! The might of Lockfar approaches. My axe is thirsty. Plunder. Urge to kill rising.
An enemy is godlike. Killing spree. Shut down. An enemy has been slain.
Approaches. To action! To plunder. Urge to kill rising. I'm going.
Shut down. Shut down.
Faster to battle.
Has destroyed a turret.
The might of Lockfar approaches.
enemy has been slain.
Finally, some fun! To action! Obliteration! Chop, chop! Urge to kill.
An enemy has been slain.
The might of
Dominating.
to plunder.
Your team has destroyed a turret. Godlike.
To action!
Rampage.